quick thing about The Sims. There's some dangling cables here. The thing is, so there seem to be very different versions of this cover art. It seems as if different countries got different variations on them, and annoyingly, they just seem to be like variations on this. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so the thing is, we're going to start with this one because the Sims wiki page seems to agree that this is the first version of this cover art. So I'm going to focus on that and trust the Sims wiki. And if it isn't, well, you know, we've delved into an image. This image. So first of all, I guess one thing I would like to say that's kind of interesting is these two guys in the center. I'm going to zoom in a second. These two guys, so this guy clearly has, like, I guess, what's meant to, these are like oil stains, or like, clearly it's some sort of an old t-shirt. It's not supposed to be a very elegant t-shirt, I think. I think the box is trying to make a comment between this sort of dressing and like this sort of dressing, or these kinds of dressing. And also the sort of unshaved beard. I think the idea here is this is, you know, a casual, homey kind of look, not a formal look at all. Now, most of the other guys, I mean, maybe, I don't know if you'd include the thief there, but most of the other guys are very formally dressed. These people are formally dressed also, even including like their work attire. So in the center, we have two guys who are not formally dressed. This guy is not like, it's clean, right? But compared to the other dresses, it's also clearly just a sort of relatively plain looking clothes, relatively kind of casual t-shirt you might wear in a casual way at home. So if let's establish that these two guys are like casual wear, and they seem to be in contrast to all of the non-casual wear people. They seem to be, I don't know what they're doing. He's like rejecting something. He's kind of like being overwhelmed by whatever's happening in the center. And this guy also seems to have his hand, in some sort of relationship to whatever's happening in the center. It's hard to establish what kind of a relationship that is. I would say perhaps he seems happier about it. He's not mad. He's a little mad about whatever this is taking up his space. He's more like just playfully going along with whatever's happening here. So maybe there's a playfulness to him, to this side, and an anger to this side. Some sort of a joy and suffering kind of thing, with the Sims ejecting from the center. Okay. The thing then is that a series of patterns emerge in this image that are kind of interesting, and I want to focus on. I'm not sure how to take them, like where they will lead us exactly, but let's focus on them as patterns, as entertaining patterns of some kind. The first thing I notice personally is, I'm going to zoom out again, because I would like to have a good global look. This person and this person are holding things in their hands. They're not the only ones who hold things in their hands, but I feel like they have a kind of object. Okay. See, this guy also has stuff in his hands, right? Let's not ignore this. This guy has a bag in his hands. However, this bag is big and seems to require double-handed action. He needs to, or they need to, like, have this arm here and this arm here, almost like hugging this bag, because it's a big bag of cash. So you need to, you know, these people just need one hand to hold each object. There's the coffee pot and the plane. So something is happening with hands holding objects in this central object of the screen. Of course, another pattern that emerges is this double-wielded, double-armed action, which happens here as well. These two people, let's zoom in a second. These two people are also embracing with both of their arms. And not only that, but they're dressed in black and white in a way that's very clearly creating a contrast between black and white, which is the same contrast that's created here. So this has a double-wielded action, double sort of embrace, holding action, and the black and white contrast of the clothes, however that means, right? In one side it's two people, in the other side it's one person, but there is that contrast. One could say, perhaps, in a spirit of play, I would say, speculatively, that the double-wielded, double-handed action creates like a sort of it's the kind of embrace where, right, here we have one arm, here we have another arm. They seem to sort of create a crisscross. When you embrace, when you hug something that way, you have to kind of almost fuse with it or crisscross, embrace it in some way. And the theme, again, in a very speculative and perhaps playful manner, one might say that black and white, these yin-yang kind of themes of contrasts between colors, heavy contrasts between colors, also imply a kind of an embrace, a 1 2 1 2 1 2, black white black white black white. There's this sort of a way in which contrasts are hitting on one another. Black hits on white, who hits on black to white. Like the colors are kind of, I don't know. Okay, let's move on to something else. So I have this central image. Central image is single-wielded, more or less. I mean, she's holding a cup, but